Everybody, welcome to Studio 64. My name's David, and I've been searching the interzones for some more science, space, and tech news to share with you. And I found this over at RT.com. Yes, Russian nuclear energy giant competing for Ghana contracts, according to Reuters. Yes, Rosatom is one of 5 companies reportedly chosen as finalists for a project in the African state. Be interesting to see who the other ones are. It'll be entertaining, I can tell you that much. Now, Russian state energy giant Rosatom is competing for a contract to build Ghana's first nuclear power plant, Reuters reported on Tuesday, citing Robert Sogbaji, an official in the West African nation's energy ministry. Now, according to Sogbaji, the Ghanaian government will select a company for the project from a list of 5 contenders that also includes France's EDF, the US-based NuScale Power and Regnum Technology Group, and the China National Nuclear Corporation. I guarantee you, if China or the Russians win, it's going to be full-on entertainment. I can tell you that much. The Americans will have throw a tantrum. They'll have a tanty in their political panties. It'll be fascinating. The other company is South Korea's KEPCO and its subsidiary Korea Hydro Nuclear Power Corporation. Cabinet will approve the final choice. It can be one vendor or 2 nations. It will depend on the financial model and the technical details, Reuters quoted Sogbaji, who serves as Ghana's Deputy Director for Power in charge of nuclear and alternative energy, is saying on Monday. Yeah, it'll be interesting for Ghana to go down the nuclear route, that's for sure. It'd be fascinating to observe and watch this story as it grows, who wins the contract to provide nuclear power to that African state. Be very interesting. The selection process, which is expected to be completed by December, is a significant step towards realising the country's long-held nuclear ambitions in the midst of a widespread electricity crisis. Yes, be very, very interesting to see. No matter which country wins the contract, I wonder how much political influence they'll have within Ghana. Yeah. So, isn't it funny? Everyone bangs on about colonisation from 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, but they don't think about the modern ways it happens. Fascinating. For power generation, Ghana relies largely on thermal plants, which account for 66 and 33% of hydropower. According to its energy regulator, the country has 5,454 megawatts of installed capacity and an available capacity of 4,710. Now, the former British colony, there you go, began considering building a nuclear power plant in the 60s under the leadership of its first president, Kwame Nkrumah, but the plan was abandoned following a coup. The process was revived in 2006 with the assistance of the International Atomic Energy Agency as the country grappled with devastating power outages. Now, Ghanaian authorities have hailed nuclear power as a means to resolve supply issues and achieve the country's industrialization goals. On Monday, Sogbaji said the world's second largest cocoa producer plans to add about 1,000 megawatts of nuclear power to its electricity mix by 2034. Last October, Burkina Faso, one of the neighbouring countries to which Ghana exports power, signed a deal with Rosatom to build a nuclear power plant to diversify its energy sources. There you go. I wonder if that'll have any impact on it. So the Russians will be in Ghana and could possibly be in Ghana and in Burkina Faso. Interesting. And as usual, I'll leave the link to the main article below the video so you can pop in and check out the other links. Russia and Africa boost nuclear cooperation. So that'll be very interesting there. In March, the Sahel state and its ally Mali, along with Algeria, signed several agreements for developing cooperation in nuclear energy with the Russian energy firm on the sidelines of the 13th International Atom Expo exhibition and forum in Sochi. South Africa is also partnering with Rosatom on a floating nuclear power plant project to help alleviate the country's protracted electricity crisis. Ryan Collier, acting CEO of Rosatom Central and South Africa, said in March. Now, according to Collier, African nations have shown a keen interest in nuclear energy from Rosatom, recognising it as a dependable global supplier and a reliable partner. You've got to understand, too, that nuclear power in this day and age is much different to what it was back in the day. And everyone screams Chernobyl, Chernobyl, Chernobyl. But that was 50s, 60s Soviet technology that was 20 or 30 years old, that was never maintained in the former Soviet Union. And of course, it had a tendency to melt down, literally. And of course, Fukushima was an earthquake and a tsunami. Modern nuclear power plants are much, much better, much smaller, and produce virtually no waste. And the way we're going very, very soon, particularly with the Koreans, South Koreans, we're going to have nuclear fusion before we know it. Fascinating. All right, my name is David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News update. I shall see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video, because I'd love to hear what you think. All right, take care. And as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And as I also always say,
my nipples are very sensitive.